Hey, I'm Pep, and this is a 5-minute review of Paladins of the West Kingdom by Renegade Game Studios. Now, they aren't paying me for this review. In fact, they didn't even send me that copy of the game. That's something I got as a Christmas present. Thanks, Rodney. But I like the game so much that I wanted to do a review of it. Spoilers. If you happen to have played Architects of the West Kingdom before, its predecessor, you'll find a lot of similar iconography, which is really helpful. And a lot of the art is similar. So if you liked the art or the iconography, you'll likely continue to do so. But even if you haven't seen their iconography before, I find it's very easy to interpret. The only times where I couldn't figure something out were basically because I wasn't paying attention to some of the symbols on the board. On top of that, there's an extra little detail I really like when it comes to these actions here. On the left-hand side, it shows what type of influence you'll need in order to use this action. And on the right-hand side, it shows what the reward will be. It's a very easy, quick reminder, as well as an excellent teaching tool. One of my favorite parts of this game, though, are the Paladins, ergo the name. At the start of each round, you're going to draw 3 Paladins from your randomized deck, and you're going to choose which one you'll be using that round, which one will go on the top of the deck so you'll see it, along with 2 others in the next round, and which one will go on the bottom that you probably won't see until close to the end of the game, if at all. And these Paladins show what workers you'll have available for you this round that you can use to spend on actions, as well as what special ability you'll have. Usually it will reduce the cost of something or completely remove the cost of something, or give you a bonus when you take an action that normally doesn't give one. You may also notice the colored flags at the top of your Paladin. These are the attributes, which are also tracked on your player board. The more you do certain actions, the more those attributes will rise. And some actions and some difficulty of actions will actually require a much higher level of these attributes. So choosing a paladin with a higher number can give you a little boost you might need in order to complete something early. On top of the workers from this, you'll also get workers from the tavern, which are taken in turn order, and you'll have at least 6 workers each round to work with. Now, if you've played something like Scythe or Terra Mystica, you'll notice a similar mechanic where you'll be pulling things from one area, putting them onto another, and making that action easier to do. On top of that, whenever you pull something off, it'll have something underneath, which means you'll gain that, which can help for some interesting chaining on your turn and setting up some combos. You even have certain actions which give you the ability to remove people from an action and allow you to take that action again. Now, there's not a lot of player interaction in this game, but there are a few instances, like eventually there will be cards that come up which allow you to place a worker onto them in order to gain an action, and only the first player to put the worker there will get it. But otherwise, most of your actions are on your actual player board, and other people can't go there. There are a few time-sensitive things, though. If you want to hire a worker or attack an incoming bandit or marauder, mercenary, whatever they are, it's kind of first come, first serve. If someone happens to take the only one that you would have been able to attack, then you won't be able to do it. In my experience, I didn't find this to really happen at all, but I'm sure it could happen in games, especially if people start taking the same strategies. Now, on the topic of same strategies, that's my only negative I have for this game, is every time I played the game, I played it in a similar way and did well, and it feels like everybody is playing it in a similar way. The game feels a little samey whenever you play it each time. That being said, I enjoyed playing it each time. The samey didn't matter because I liked the way that it all worked. Now, the game is very point salad-y. There's a lot of different ways to get points, and basically no matter what you do, as long as you do it a lot, you're going to end up getting some amount of points out of it. Finding the balance between one thing and another in order to gain the most points is how you're going to end up trying to win, of course. And for what people would probably consider a thicker game, I don't find it takes that long to play, especially with people who've played the game before. Usually you kind of know what you want to do, and so your actions in your turn are pretty quick to run through. You even have the ability to keep 3 of your workers and carry them into a future round, which really helps for planning. And the game has plenty of other little mechanics involved. There are debts that you accumulate, mostly coming from having too much suspicion. You get suspicion whenever you take wild workers, which are the purple ones. Of course, there's lots of ways in order to remove debt, remove suspicion. that keep the game flowing in an interesting way. Often keeping track of who has the most suspicion and who's going to be the one to get the debts is really what keeps the game on its toes. But there's plenty of ways to flip those debts over which actually grant you a single point. So maybe in the end, taking a lot of suspicion and getting a lot of debts could pay off. And I've only played the game 3 times, so there may be a hidden depth of strategy that I haven't dug into yet. Anyways, I personally think this is a great game. If you are a fan of board games, I think you'll enjoy this as well. If you've been debating picking it up, you looked at it, you thought it was interesting, I highly suggest this one. I haven't had quite this much fun playing a board game in a long time. Anyway, that's been my review. Thanks for watching.